7 people. 7 people I used to see every single week are dead. Yeah, not from car accidents, not from some cancer that came out of nowhere. They died from things they did to themselves, things they refused to stop doing, and I watched it happen in slow motion from behind a cash register for 26 years. And yeah, what I am about to say, you need to hear it, because there is a very real chance that you are doing at least 3 of these 7 things right now. And if you are shaving years off your life, not decades from now, right now, today, every single day you keep doing them. My name is Alma Ruth Jennings. Yeah, I was a grocery store cashier, same store for 26 years. And yeah, that might not sound like much to you, but let me tell you what that job actually was. It was a front row seat to how people live and how people die, because everything shows up in a grocery cart eventually. The drinking shows up, the loneliness shows up. Yeah, the giving up shows up too. I watched people come through my line young and healthy, and come through again 10 years later, looking like they had aged 30, and then some of them stopped coming in altogether, and I would hear about it at church. So and so passed, and I would think, I saw it coming. I saw it in what they were buying. Yeah, I saw it in their eyes. I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist. Yeah, I am just a woman who watched an entire town live and die from behind a counter, and I am still here at 101 years old. My husband is not. My son is not. Most of my friends are not. So here are the 7 things I stopped doing, and I need you to listen to all 7, because the last one is the one that will get you. I promise you that. The first thing I stopped was eating food that did not look like food. Yeah, I know that sounds strange. So let me explain. When I started working at that grocery store in 1957, people bought meat, vegetables, flour, sugar, butter, eggs. I could look at most things that came across my belt and tell you exactly what it was and where it came from. But by the time I retired in 1993, I could not pronounce half the things on the packages, and the people buying them, their bodies were changing, not slowly, fast. I watched it happen. There was a woman, I will call her Linda, because that was her name, and she is gone now, so she will not mind. Linda came through my line every Saturday. Yeah, pretty woman, slim, full of energy. Then somewhere in the late 70s, her cart started changing. More boxes, more bags, more things with ingredient lists the length of my arm, frozen dinners, instant this and that, and her body. Her body changed with her cart within 10 years. She was a different person, swollen, tired, could barely make it from the parking lot to the door. Yeah, I am not blaming Linda. Everyone's cart was changing, but I noticed something. The people who kept buying the simple stuff, the vegetables, the chicken, the rice, the beans, they looked different, they moved different, they lasted longer. So I made a decision somewhere around 1980. If I could not look at something and tell you what it was, I was not eating it. If it had ingredients that sounded like a chemistry experiment, it was not going in my body. My husband Earl, he thought I was being ridiculous. Yeah, he loved his frozen pot pies and his packaged snack cakes. Earl died at 72, and I am 101. I am not saying that is the only reason, but I am not saying it is not either. You right now, go look at your kitchen. If most of what is in there came out of a box or a plastic bag with writing you cannot understand, you need to change that. Yeah, your body is not a trash can. It is the only house you are ever going to live in. The second thing I stopped was keeping my mouth shut when something was eating me alive for the first half of my life. I swallowed every hurt, every frustration, every word I wanted to say, but did not. That is what women did in my generation. You smiled, you nodded, you kept the peace. Your husband said something that cut you, and you swallowed it. Your boss treated you like furniture, and you swallowed it. And where do you think all of that goes? It does not disappear. Yeah, it's in your chest. It's in your stomach. It's in your jaw. I used to grind my teeth so bad in my sleep that I cracked 2 molars. My doctor told me it was stress. I told him I was not stressed. He looked at me like I was lying, and I was. Then one day, I was maybe 55, I told Earl exactly what I thought about something he had done. I do not even remember what it was now, something small probably, but I said it out loud with my whole chest, and he looked at me like I had slapped him, and you know what happened after that? Yeah, nothing. The world did not end. He did not leave. He grumbled for a day, and then it was over, and I felt like I had set down a suitcase I had been carrying for 30 years. After that, I started saying things, not mean things, not cruel things, just true things, and my body thanked me for it. The teeth grinding stopped. The stomach problems I had for years got better. The headaches slowed down if you are sitting there right now with a chest full of things you have never said. That is not strength. Yeah, that is a slow poison. You do not have to be ugly about it, but you have to let it out. Your body is keeping score even if you think you have moved on. The third thing I stopped was going to bed with a worried mind. My mother used to say, never go to bed with a troubled mind. And I thought that was just something old people said because they liked to sound wise. But she was right. Yeah, she was right. For years I would lie in bed at night, running through everything that went wrong that day, everything that might go wrong tomorrow, every bill, every problem, every argument. My mind would just spin and spin like a washing machine that would not quit, and I would wake up exhausted, not from doing anything, from thinking. Then I started doing something simple before I got into bed. I would sit in my kitchen for 10 minutes. Yeah, just sit, not watching anything, not reading anything, just sitting with a cup of tea and letting my mind slow down. If something was bothering me, I would say out loud, that is tomorrow's problem, and I know that. Sounds silly, but something about saying it out loud made my brain believe it. I gave myself permission to stop for the day, and I started sleeping like I had not slept since I was a child. You right now, I bet you are taking your phone to bed. Yeah, I bet you are scrolling through bad news and other people's problems right before you close your eyes, and then wondering why you cannot sleep. Stop it. Your mind needs to be put to bed, the same way you would put a child to bed, gently, quietly, with peace, not with noise and worry and blue light shining in your face. The fourth thing I stopped was keeping company with people who left me feeling empty. Yeah, this one took me the longest to learn because I am a friendly person. I like people, I always have, but I started noticing something around the time I turned 60. After spending time with certain people, I felt drained, not tired. From activity, drained, like somebody had reached inside me and taken something out. And after spending time with other people, I felt full, energized, happy. There was a woman at my church. I will not say her name because she is still alive and I am not trying to start anything at 101. But every time I spent an afternoon with her, I came home feeling worse than when I left. She complained, she gossiped, she made little comments about my house, my clothes, my cooking. Nothing obvious enough to call out directly, just little needle pricks, one after another, and I kept seeing her, because that is what you do. She was in my circle. She was in my church until I stopped. I did not make a big announcement. I just started being busy, started being unavailable, and within a month I felt lighter. I had more energy. I was happier. Yeah, that woman was costing me something I could not afford to lose. Look at the people around you right now. After you spend time with them, do you feel better or worse? Do you feel filled up or emptied out? That is your answer. You do not owe anyone your energy just because you have known them a long time. Time does not make a bad friendship good. Yeah, it just makes it long. The fifth thing I stopped was ignoring what my body was trying to tell me. My son, my boy, his name was Michael. He started getting tired all the time in his early 50s. Not normal tired, deep tired, the kind of tired that sleep does not fix. And he kept saying he was fine, just working too hard, just needed a vacation. His wife told him to go to the doctor. I told him to go to the doctor. Yeah, he did not go. He did not go for 3 years. By the time he finally went, it was type 2 diabetes, and it had already done damage to his kidneys, damage to his eyes, damage that could not be undone. He died at 58 years old, my own child, and I will carry that until the day I close my own eyes, because I wonder every single day if I should have dragged him to that appointment myself. Your body talks to you. Yeah, it whispers first. A little pain here, a little tiredness there, something that just does not feel quite right, and most of you ignore it. You tell yourself it is nothing. You tell yourself you will deal with it later. Later might not come the way you think it will. Michael thought he had later. He did not. If something in your body does not feel right, go get it looked at tomorrow. Not next week, not next month, tomorrow. 3 years of ignoring whispers cost me my son. Do not let it cost you everything too. The sixth thing I stopped was buying things to make myself feel better. Yeah, you would not believe what people buy when they are sad or lonely or bored. I could see it on their faces when they came in. They did not really need anything. They would wander the aisles like they were looking for something they could not name. They would fill a cart with things they did not need. Candles, magazines, snacks they would eat in one sitting. Stuff, yeah, just stuff, and they would come through my line, and they would not even look happy about what they were buying. They looked like they were trying to fill something. I did it too. After Earl died, I went through a stretch where I bought things constantly. New curtains, new dishes, a new winter coat, things I did not need, and for about 10 minutes after each purchase, I felt a little better. Then the feeling would drain away, and the hole would still be there, because things do not fill that kind of hole. Yeah, connection fills it, purpose fills it, being useful to somebody fills it. A new set of towels does not. I stopped buying things I did not need, and I started doing things that made me feel needed. I started bringing meals to people who were sick. I started calling people I had not talked to in too long. I started writing letters, actual letters on paper with a stamp, and that hole started to close, not because I bought something, but because I gave something. If you are someone who shops when you are sad, I want you to think about what you are actually hungry for. It is not the thing in the cart. Yeah, no amount of next day delivery is going to fix it. The seventh thing I stopped, and I saved this one for last, because it is the one that will hit the hardest, is I stopped acting like I had unlimited time. Yeah, when you are young, time feels like an ocean. You cannot see the other side of it. There is so much stretching out in front of you that wasting a day, a week, a year does not seem to matter. I know because I felt that way too. I put things off, big things. I told Earl for years we should take dancing lessons together. He wanted to, I wanted to, and yeah, We never did. I said we would go to New York someday to see a show on Broadway. We never went. I said I would learn to paint. Because I always loved watching people paint. I never once picked up a brush, and then Earl was gone, and half of those things did not make sense to do alone. But here is the part that nobody warns you about. It is not just the big things you run out of time for. Yeah, it is the small ones. It is one more cup of coffee with your mother on a Sunday morning. It is one more phone call with your friend where you laugh about nothing for 20 minutes. It is one more evening sitting on the porch with the person you love, not doing anything important, just being together and letting the night come in. Those are the things you miss the most when they are gone, not the trips you did not take, the ordinary, unremarkable moments you did not pay attention to because you thought there would be a million more of them. I had a friend named Doris. Yeah, we worked at the store together for years, stood at registers right next to each other. We always said we would take a trip when we both retired, somewhere with a beach and no cooking. We talked about it for 15 years. She retired 2 years before I did. She died 5 months later, a stroke. Yeah, just like that. And I sat at her funeral, thinking about a beach neither of us ever saw. You think you have time? Yeah, you do not know that. Nobody knows that. The healthiest person you know could be gone next month. You could be gone next month. I am not saying that to scare you. I am saying it because it is the truth. And the truth does not care about your plans, whatever you are putting off. Stop putting it off. Whatever you are waiting for the right time to do. The right time was yesterday, and the second best time is right now. Whoever you have been meaning to call them when you are done watching this. Not tomorrow, not this weekend, today. I have been alive for 101 years. I have buried my husband. I have buried my son. I have buried friends I thought would outlive me by decades. And the thing that haunts me most is not the hard times. Yeah, the hard times made me who I am. What haunts me is the wasted time. The things I kept saying I would get to, and never did. The people I kept meaning to visit and never visited. The words I kept planning to say and never said out loud. So let me say it plain, one more time. Stop eating things that are not real food. Stop swallowing the words sitting in your chest. Stop taking your worries to bed. Stop giving your time to people who drain the life out of you. Stop ignoring what your body is whispering. Stop trying to buy your way out of an empty feeling, and stop acting like tomorrow is something you are owed. Yeah, nobody is owed tomorrow. You do not have forever, but you have right now, and right now is more than enough if you stop wasting it on things that are slowly killing you. I am 101 years old. I was a cashier at a grocery store in a small town in Tennessee. I am nobody special, but I paid attention, and paying attention is what kept me here this long. Now I have said my piece, and if even one person listening to this goes home tonight and makes one single change, then getting my granddaughter to set up this camera and point it at my face was worth every second. Now go on, go live your life. You have got things to do, and I have got a garden that needs watering.